We have just witnessed the rewriting of history. The BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have formally announced the introduction of a new reserve currency that will be backed by both gold and XRP, a decision that will have repercussions for generations to come. This is neither gossip nor conjecture. This announcement will be shown live on television around the world. The world's dependence on the US dollar as the primary reserve currency may have just ended with just one action. After almost a century of dominance, the US dollar is being overthrown, and the replacement is unlike anything we have ever seen. XRP is a combination of cutting-edge, lightning-fast, decentralized technology with tangible ancient riches and gold. Videos are memorable. With enormous screens lighting behind them, world leaders are positioned side by side beneath the brick banners, with flags on either side. The financial world is shocked when letters combine to make a single word, XRP. A pact called the New Development Bank Reserve Asset Accord is on the table in front of them. The message is clear, but the ink is still drying. A new currency standard has arrived, ending the dominance of the dollar. Furthermore, it is supported by the tangible assets of gold and the unstoppable effectiveness of the XRP ledger, rather than by assurances or brittle debt arrangements. Why would the BRICS act in this way? There are political as well as practical factors. These countries have resented the dollar's hegemony and the SWIFT system's control for many years. It is evident from trade restrictions, sanctions, and geopolitical conflicts. They can no longer utilize SWIFT without worrying about freezes or blockades, and they are vulnerable to manipulation by the West if they continue to use the dollar. They run the risk of being seized or having their reserves devalued if they continue to hold them in dollars. They require a settlement asset that is rapid, apolitical, and impartial. Something universal, impervious to corruption, and free from Washington's sway. Their united statement said the decision was clear, XRP. The ramifications are astounding. The analysts start doing the calculations right away. In addition to being a group of 5 countries, BRICS is an economic bloc that competes with, and sometimes even outperforms the West. Collectively, they make up almost 40% of the world's population, and to be honest, a rapidly growing portion of the global GDP. The necessary liquidity would be unprecedented, even if XRP just accounted for 10% of their combined reserves, trade flows, and settlement activities. Not only would prices in the thousands make sense, they would be required. Did XRP enthusiasts frequently argue over that $10,000 price target? In contrast to what this scale of adoption requires, that may appear to be a rounding mistake. By design, the new BRIC reserve might push XRP into the stratosphere. Expert responses are conflicting. This is the end of the dollar era and the beginning of multipolar finance, according to some bullish analysts. One of them puts it this way, this is more than simply money. This weapon is geopolitical. Independence is this. This is liberation from the financial hegemony of the West. Critics, however, are eager to highlight the possible challenges. This is impossible due to geopolitical tensions, according to one skeptic. A technology developed by an American corporation such as Ripple would never be accepted by China. The dangers are just too great. Concerns about national security, compliance, and sovereignty are all present. However, notwithstanding these arguments, the truth still stands. The signing, sealing, and broadcasting of the BRICS Treaty. The wheels of change are already turning, whether or not doubters like it. Thus, markets respond fiercely. Simply said, there is a great deal of uncertainty, and the anxiety is palpable everywhere. As investors scramble to comprehend the magnitude of gold's new role in supporting this hybrid reserve currency, the metal's price soars. Right now, everyone is rushing to understand what this actually means. As speculation turns into reality, XRP's trade volume soars. Traders begin estimating the percentage of world reserves that could be in XRP, and the figures indicate that there is unheard of upward pressure. For many years, XRP has been hailed as a settlement instrument, a bridge asset, and a possible economic backbone. Today, some of the world's most powerful rising economies have formally declared it to be just that. There is no denying the larger story. This is now about insurance rather than investments. As a geopolitical insurance policy against the decline of dollar dominance, XRP has emerged. Owning XRP gives the BRICS countries independence, speed, and sovereignty in international finance. Holding XRP today entails, well, placing oneself within the biggest financial revolution in contemporary history for regular investors. This has nothing to do with technical indicators, charts, or transient price fluctuations. History is at issue here. There is a ticker symbol for the new world order that is being drafted. Panic breaks out in the corridors of power across the West. In hurried declarations, US officials vowed to uphold the dollar's reserve status. Wall Street analysts argue about whether this is a bluff, a symbolic gesture, or perhaps the first in a series of events that might permanently alter international trade. However, BRICS takes action while the West discusses. They have already created their reserve currency, set their plan in motion, and made their commitment public. The days of conjecture are past. The changeover has started. The key question is straightforward for the average individual seeing things unfold. What follows? Imagine a world in which a currency backed by gold and XRP replaces dollars as the price of commodities, oil, and important trade agreements. Consider companies adding this new reserve asset to their treasuries. Imagine a new global system where financial institutions are vying for XRP in order to preserve liquidity. The demand is unfathomable, and the strain is only increased by the limited supply of XRP. One statement stands out as the BRICS leaders wrap up their news conference. No country is being targeted by this action. This is an attempt to improve global finance's efficiency, equity, and balance. Everyone is aware of the subtext, though. For the first time in almost a century, the US currency is directly threatened. To be honest, the XRP ledger's digital pulse serves as the challenger's instrument in addition to gold. The conclusion is obvious. This is not a forecast, a theory, or a rumor. This is the truth. The globe is already responding to the BRICS countries' formal announcement of a reserve currency backed by gold and XRP. For XRP holders, this is the moment that validates years of research and conjecture. It is the most startling geopolitical shift of the century, according to skeptics. Additionally, it marks the beginning of a new monetary era for the world economy, one that is shared by a decentralized digital asset known as XRP, rather than being dominated by the dollar. So consider this: do you now view XRP as insurance or as an investment? Because survival is more important to the BRICS countries than speculation. And as they just demonstrated, the premium on that survival is equal to the current price of XRP. When the rest of the world knocks, will you be able to hold it together? Please keep in mind that I do not hold a financial advisor license. These videos only contain content that is meant to be entertaining. Before making any financial decisions, I always advise viewers to do their own research and speak with experts. Many thanks for listening. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Additionally, to be the first to know when I post new stuff, make sure you enable the alerts. I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Be careful.